I'll go back 20 years back. I'm one of the few people who are very senior in their practice. So 2005, as Dr. Srivastava was putting us through 72-year-old female. You see, at that point in time, we did not have very good tissue diagnosis protocols. And so a trial of antitubercular drugs, paraparesis was not responding. And so a heart shield was done. As you can see, it allows collapse, and a postoperative CT myelo, because it is a steel implant, showed a very good decompression in spite of the collapse. And the diagnosis came out to be osteoporosis. In the same month, a few weeks down the line, 42-year-old female, again back pain, similar sort of X-ray picture, similar sort of concentric collapse. You can see that the disc spaces are not involved. Again, a trial of antitubercular drugs, as was the situation 20 years back, and it came out to be Kerry spine. A month down the line, again 2005, 45-year-old male, neck pain, quadriparesis. Again, and those times we didn't have smart radiologists who would do intervention radiology and get anterior biopsies in the cervical spine. So a trial antitubercular drug, no response, surgery, and it was Kerry spine. Couple of weeks down the line, 2005 again, similar MRI picture, epidural compression, 48-year-old male, again quadriparesis, and this time to just show you, anterior decompression fixation was done. We didn't have titanium implants. We had in those point in time very primitive non-locking screws, a plasmacytoma. So in 2005 as well as in 2025, we have a differential diagnosis of neoplastic lesions, pyogenic spinal or other infections like brucellosis, osteoporosis, trauma, inflammation. And at that point in time, it was a diagnosis of clinical acumen and imaging in spite of the plethora of exotic investigations available. But 20 years down the line, 2025, it is a diagnosis obtained from tissue specimen in spite of the plethora of exotic investigations available. So if you come down to the diagnosis of spinal tuberculosis, it is clinico-radiological, seroimmunological, and based on a specimen. And the specimen, which is either a centrifuge specimen of the pus or it has a tissue specimen in it, we know that clinico-radiological is basically history, examination, and all the gamut of tests, X-ray, MRI, CT, and nowadays PET. And the specimen is exposed to either molecular methods, histopathology, or microbiological. We know that histopathology at times doesn't pick up the typical tubercle, especially in partially treated cases. And as you know, Bombay is a hotbed of tuberculosis with many patients having partial treatment. This is frequently the case. In microbiological, we either do a smear testing or a culture, and the culture is either an age-old solid culture medium, like the LJ or the currently we do much of liquid media, which is faster, either Bactec or the MGIT. Animal inoculation is rarely done nowadays. And the molecular methods which have really taken a priority are the gene expert and the line probe assay. Now we know that there are multiple seroimmunological measures available, but all of them have major fallacies. For example, the Mantu does not differentiate between an active disease or a dead disease or an infection, and it has non-pathogenic mycobacteria involved. CRP is very non-specific, though CRP is used for monitoring the treatment. Serum ADA has absolutely no use, but it is useful for CSF ADA in CNS TB, bacterial meningitis, and we know that DNA or mRNA PCR from blood samples have absolutely no use, and the revised National Tuberculosis Control Program puts up a slide as "let us stop this." Gene expert has been shown by a Cochrane review to be 98% sensitive, 88% sensitive and 98% specific. And we published this 5 years back. We had 68 patients, and consecutively they were tested for gene expert and histopathology and AFB. We had 91% sensitivity, 100% specificity. And if you just look at the data, 62 out of 68 were gene expert positive. And out of those 53 out of 16, the 8 patients we did not get enough sample for histopathology. And out of those 7 patients which were HP negative, they all were gene expert positive. And only 54% were AFB culture positive, 29 were negative, and gene expert was positive in 86% of them. So the conclusion was very sharp that the gene expert clearly outperforms AFB culture in histopathology due to its high sensitivity and specificity, apart from being rapid in the diagnosis. We also described the technique in 2021 and came out in European Spine Journal, a typical Jamshidi, then a guide wire, over that a typical kyphoplastic cannula which goes in, and then a small pituitary ronger goes into the kyphoplastic cannula and you get a good sample. And this can be usually also done for the disc spaces. Especially it is useful in the disc spaces because the pituitary ronger actually catches a part of the disc and it can give you an excellent diagnosis. So the take home is biopsy is the key to diagnosing tuberculosis of the spine. Thanks for setting this up.